Okay, so I'm sorry for any inconvenience. I made a very makeshift tripod that I am hoping I can make work to the best of my abilities. And my first video for Junk Journal Junkies is one of my favorites. It's one of my smaller ones, and it's made out of a clasp envelope. It says Dream here. This is the front, and this is the back. I did spray it with Mod Podge spray, so if you get it dirty, you can wipe it right off. I just put a little bit of bling coming down the sides because I think that's pretty, you know. All right. Nice and quick for you. Inside, washi tape, color. I do this not for a tuck spot, but just to keep the colors cohesive throughout the book, to keep the patterns flowing. So you'll see that a lot. Everything in here is aged and inked with Tim Holtz vintage photos around the edges, along with some stamps that I absolutely adore. Lined paper here, lined paper here. This is an envelope that I turned into a tuck spot right there. And I thought it was fitting because it's a manila cover, manila envelope. I just thought that was kind of fitting. Another little folder within a book. This is a bigger one. You could probably put quite a few things in here, so that's good. Or no things, it's up to you. It's your book. Or it's a book that I made that will maybe eventually go on my Etsy. This is graph paper. For me, I like to draw on my graph paper because it already has the lines, and after dyeing them, tea dyeing them, they're pretty faint, so the lines help with the drawings, and you can barely see them anyway. Some more patterned paper. I have some more tuck spots here made with a doily. Another tuck spot here made with that same doily. Some gorgeous stamping. I like to stamp on some of my patterned pages just to keep it interesting. And again, with the cohesiveness, I love that stamp. And then again, to keep it interesting, throwing some random pages in there. That's not a punch or anything. I rounded some corners. I left some straight. Rounded some corners. Now this I made for the middle, just for some fun to hide the seam binding. I just put a little, but first coffee piece of paper in there. It is tea dyed one side, brown on the other. And this, for all you junk journalers out there, I thought this was gorgeous and vintage, and I wanted to add it just in case you wanted to use it maybe in this book or another book. I think it's a nice little extra. So moving on, we just got some journaling spots, some of that kitty cursive paper that I love, but only in some books. Stamping, journaling spots. This says here, dreams are illustrations from the book your soul is writing about you. I thought that was beautiful. A little clip in case you just want to clip something on. Another beautiful little bicycle stamp. More graph paper, and the other side to that folder that I ripped and burned and aged. Like I said, everything in here is aged with Distress ink. This is just one of those little money envelopes, but in a mini size with some paper on the inside. Nothing too special. But I figured I'd throw that in here, even though it would probably fit better in here. Now this is a double tuck spot. You can tuck in there. You can tuck in there and it actually comes through there, or you can go ahead and tuck right in there. I do have stapling done on here. If you can see it, they're yellow staples. I hope you can see that. That's just for decoration. It doesn't go all the way through. The only staple that does go all the way through is this one, and you can barely tell, but you can embellish that if you'd like. I'm sure it would work out just fine. More cohesiveness with the pattern paper, more cohesiveness with the pattern paper. And again, because this is a clasp folder, junk book, God, I love my art and I can't even say junk book. I tea-dyed this card, that would be with it, and you know, just some silly things like some very vintage looking, I can't remember the name of anything right now, vintage looking envelopes and just some note cards, write some lists on and whatnot. And I added this gorgeous piece of paper. I love this piece of paper. I've literally been hoarding this one piece of paper. I'm ready to let it go eventually. Obviously, nothing is for sale here on Junk Journal Junkies, and I would love to do a swap with somebody that would just make my Christmas. So I don't know exactly what I'm allowed to say yet. So I'll refrain from saying anything that might get me kicked off because I'm so excited to be on here. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to talk to everyone soon. I have been following so many of you beautiful junk journalers, but I've been doing it off of my boyfriend's YouTube account, James Castaney Comedy. Adding up everyone a storm, getting so much inspiration, watching you while I craft. I truly love this. This is truly my passion, and I can thank you all for introducing me to my passion. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I gotta learn how to turn this thing off. Take it off the makeshift.